Now I'll be taking you through comprehension, another topic very quickly. So we've already discussed different types of reading like skimming and scanning, intensive reading and extensive reading. Now what do we mean by comprehension? So the word comprehension means the ability to understand what you listen or what you read. It is an exercise which aims at improving or testing one's ability to understand a language. Try to remember your English class at your school. Each day you were taught new lessons. So the point is that whatever you listen or whatever you read, if you are not able to understand, then what's the point, right? It's like you are just trying to just read it, but without any kind of understanding you will never know the meaning of it. It's like you're watching a movie, you just read the subtitles but you don't know what does it mean. Then what's the point? So comprehension is very important. You should be able to comprehend whatever you are listening or whatever you are reading. Some of the fundamental skills required in efficient reading comprehension are the ability to. So when we are talking about reading comprehension, suppose you're reading something, then what kind of skills are required? So first thing, you should know the meaning of the words. If you don't know the meaning, if your vocabulary is very poor, let's say you don't understand the meaning, then how will you understand what it means, right? What the sentence is all about, or what the words or the para is all about, what the story is all about, you would not know. So it is very essential that in order to comprehend it, something like seriously, efficiently, you should know the meaning of words. You should also understand the meaning of a word from a discourse context. So, there are different ways in which you can understand the words. So, the way, whatever it is aimed at, that also, whatever it is trying to achieve, that also you should be knowing. You should be able to draw inferences from a passage about its contents. So, about the whole content, at least from the passage, you should be able to understand the overview of what it means. You should be able to identify the main thought of a passage. At least you should know, like, what does it mean. You should be able to ask questions about the text. If you've understood, then you will be able to raise doubts and ask the questions. Otherwise, it's like any normal person. You'll just be like, yes, okay, yeah, but in your mind, inside your heart, you know that you're not understanding. How will you ask questions if you're not understanding, right? You should be able to visualize the text. This is also there, right? You should be able to visualize what is written in whatever is written. I mean, that's the charm of reading. That's the charm of reading, actually. Let's say if you are reading a novel, or if you are reading any interesting books, like, then you should be able to actually visualize what it means. That's the charm of reading. Then you should be able to recall prior knowledge connected to the text. So if you do that, that means you're understanding it well. You are able to connect it with something. You're able to connect it with somebody. You're able to connect it with some situations. So that means you're understanding it better. You should be able to recognize confusion or attention problems. Means any kind of confusion is there, or any kind of attention problems, like if you're not able to pay attention to what it is read over there, that means there is some problem. So whatever is the problem, you should be able to recognize it. You should be able to recognize the literary devices or proportional structures used in a passage and determine its tone, right? Whatever devices or structures are used in the passage, you should know in what tone it has been shared. You should be able to understand the situational mood. For example, agents, objects, temporal, spatial, reference points, casual and intentional inflections, etc., conveyed for assertions, questioning, commanding, refraining, etc. So, whatever the mood is, the situational mood is, you should be able to understand all of that. And you should be able to determine the writer's purpose, intent, and point of view and draw inferences about the writer. So, this also you should know what is the purpose of the writer, what is the intent, with what intention the person is trying to write, what is their point of view, and draw inferences about the writer. Everything about the writer also you will be able to make out. So many times it happens that you read a book and you know that okay, this author always comes up with such kind of stories. They are known for it. So that means you will be able to also determine what is the purpose of writer, what is the intent of the writer. So these are all you should be able to. These are all the skills which are required if you want to efficiently comprehend whatever you read. So you should be able to do all these things. Then at least you will be able to understand. Without understand, what's the reading? What's the communication? Now we are talking about comprehension strategies. So when we are talking about comprehension, how do you comprehend? Some strategies are given over here. Let's read them. So the first thing is making inferences. See, in everyday terms, we refer to this as reading between the lines. It involves connecting various parts of the text that are not directly linked in order to form a sensible conclusion. A form of assumption, the reader speculates what connections lie within the text. They also make predictions about what might occur next. So it is about making inferences. Everything is not directly written or mentioned over there, but at least you will be able to, read between the lines that how are they connected with each other and how does it mean something, how it is having a sensible conclusion. I mean, that is one way to comprehend. You should be able to make inferences, because every reading is not simple. If at least it is not this much strategically written, then what's the charm? How will it be interesting? So you should be able, as a reader, you should be able to make inferences. Second one, planning and monitoring. So this strategy centers around the reader's mental awareness and their ability to control their comprehension by way of awareness. By previewing text, one can establish a goal for reading. What do I need to get out of this? Readers use context clues and other evaluation strategies to clarify text and ideas, and thus monitoring their level of understanding. So, as a reader, all you want to do is find out what do I need to get out of this. What do I need to get out of this? Why am I even reading this? So my mental awareness and how it is going to be useful to me. That kind of monitoring will always help in understanding better. Third one is asking questions. To solidify one's understanding of passages of text, readers inquire and develop their own opinion of the author's writing, character motivations, relationship, etc. So, this strategy involves allowing oneself to be completely objective in order to find various meanings within the text. So, when you try and ask questions, you first thing you ask questions only when you understand something, right? So to ensure that whatever you are understanding within the text, you are trying to inquire and you are trying to develop, you know your own opinion of whatever the author is writing is correct or not. So that is one way, a strategy to ensure that, to verify with somebody that whatever you are reading is correct or not. Next one, another strategy is self monitoring. So, asking oneself questions about reading strategies, whether they are getting confused or having trouble paying attention. So, that is called self monitoring. Try and ask yourself whether am I confused, or I'm able to read it well, understand it better. So, that is one way of self monitoring. Then determining importance. So pinpointing the important ideas and messages within the text. Readers are taught to identify direct and indirect ideas and to summarize the relevance of each. So try and determine the importance of whatever you're reading, right? What are the important ideas and messages within the text that you need to find out? Next one, visualizing. So, with this sensory driven strategy, readers form mental and visual images of the contents of text. Being able to connect visually allows for a better understanding of the text through emotional responses. So, this is true, you should be able to visualize. Mm, so, you should be able to connect visually so that this is the best thing. In fact, you should be definitely able to visualize if you're understanding something. If there's a story that you're reading, that two friends were there, they were going out in the market, and both of them had few very restricted limited money, and they wanted to purchase kites. So they bought kites, and then they went on the terrace and they started flying. So if you read something like this, you should be able to visualize, right? So that means that is one way of ensuring that you are understanding. And of course, there are some emotions attached to it. So once you try and visualize, the picture will be clearer. Next one is synthesizing. So this method involves marrying multiple ideas from various texts in order to draw conclusions and make comparisons across different texts, with the reader's goal being to understand how they all fit together. So synthesize, try to club the ideas from different texts. You can just use all of them to draw some kind of conclusion. And last one is making connections. A cognitive approach, also referred to as reading beyond the lines, which involves. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to continue with the point, but in short, making connections. So it means that you should just try and read beyond the lines, as in try and connect. Everything will not be clearly mentioned over there, but there is something that you need to understand yourself, because hints are given already in other parts of the text, so that you can just connect the dots. So all these things are considered as comprehension strategies, that will help you to comprehend your text better if you are reading something. So these are the comprehension strategies. So I think that's it with the chapter reading part. And now we can move on to another section of the module that is related to listening.